भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Welcome everyone for the Sunday Feast program. It's very surprising that so many people are here in spite of heavy rains last 2 days. Fortunately, immediately after Janmashtami, not during Janmashtami, after Janmashtami, rain started, so we could have our festival nicely. But very surprising, in spite of that rains, everybody has come here to take part in the festival. We have been discussing last few weeks on different demons in the pastimes of Vrindavan in the Vraja Leela, and hope some of you were there during those weeks. And practically every week we are discussing how Krishna dissipated or dispelled the fear of Vrajavasis when different demons attacked Vrindavan. It's all about Vrajavasis becoming very fearful, all the cowherd friends becoming fearful, all the men and women of the Vrindavan becoming very fearful. First we had discussed about Putana and Trinavarta and Vatsasur and Pralambasur. All these demons we discuss in Vrindavan Leela, all about fear. And this fear is such a all-pervading aspect in our life. We are always fearful of something. People have strange fears, all strange kind of fears. Yesterday one boy came and I was asking him, he looks so fearful last few months. And he was not opening up. What is the fear? Every time I ask, only one answer he would say, my parents want me to get married. That was a fear. And I'm wondering, what kind of fear? Not that you want to become brahmachari or something, but the fear that I do not want to get married. I said, you are fearful as Rukmini was fearful that she will get married to Shishupal. You know, all that. And the fear, you can see the face. And now finally parents have given up that idea to get him married because he doesn't want to get married. And I could see like face such joyful. And I mean, he's sitting right here in the audience. I will not tell you who that is. So many fears affect people. And Bhagavad Gita, Lord Prabhupada explains in one of the purports where Krishna says, this path will take you from the greatest of all fears. And he says, what is the greatest of all fear? He says, the greatest of all fear is to lose this human form of life which is given for the purpose of Krishna consciousness. To lose Krishna in our life is the biggest fear. And that fear we see in the life of Vrajavasis, how they become fearful again and again when any demon attacks and takes them away from Krishna or takes Krishna away from them. That is the only fear which exists in their life. They are not fearful of anything else, and we will see in today's pastime. Today we are discussing how Krishna chastises the serpent Kaliya. That has been the topic for today. This is given in 16th and 17th chapter of 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, and we'll discuss some points from this. Uh, of course, so many verses are there. We'll discuss few glimpses from this pastime. Now, as we know, Lord Krishna spends time playing wonderful games with all his friends, all the cowherd boys, all the cows and the calves in Vrindavan, going from forest to forest. There are 12 forests. And so many wonderful games are mentioned, how they used to play in the waters, with the ball, hide and seek. So many different games they used to play. And sometimes they used to enter river Yamuna to play games there also. And Yamuna was there quenching their thirst and satisfying all their desires with such wonderful water in the Yamuna. So one time, just like that, Krishna, with all his friends, all the cowherd boys, all the cows, all the calves, all the bulls, they went to the banks of Yamuna to play. And while playing whole day, they were very thirsty. Boys were very thirsty, so they wanted to quench their thirst. And they found this huge pool of water, a pond of water, Yamuna water, which is right there, and they wanted to quench their thirst. And the pastime start there, which I guess most of us have been hearing this Leela since childhood about Krishna Leela, Krishna dancing on the hoods of Kalia, which is a beautiful painting. At different times we see. Now Krishna with all the boys is playing there, and suddenly the boys become thirsty. They go to the water to quench their thirst. And when they go to the water to quench their thirst, as soon as they touch the water in that pool has become so poisonous. As soon as they touch, all the boys, all the cows, all the calves immediately become unconscious. They die. They lose their life. And Krishna is watching the whole fun, what's happening. And just in a moment, all his associates died by touching the water of Yamuna. Now, what a calamity has fallen on Vraj, on Vrindavan, that suddenly all these people died suddenly. Now, Lord Krishna, omnipotent, he knows everything, omniscient, he knows all what's happening. He understands it's time to smash the pride of Kalia. Now, what has happened is this Kalia is a huge serpent who is staying in a small lake there, which is nothing but a part of Yamuna. Outside Yamuna, there is a small lake. And when Kalia is living there, Kalia has specifically taken shelter of that lake. It is described, Shukdev Goswami describes in one of the stories, that Kalia has taken shelter of that lake because that lake will not be touched by Garudji. Because Kalia was very afraid of Garudji. Because one time he had offended Garudji because all the serpents, Garudji was attacking all the serpents because that's like natural enmity. And so this is a place, Ramanaka Lake, a beautiful lake. All the serpents are there. So they decided, if Garudji come, we will offer some offering to Garudji. And we will not, so that not all of us have to lose our lives. Now, they were offering all these offerings, and when they are making all these offerings, now Kalia is one of the snakes, one of the huge snakes who takes away all the offerings. Very arrogant, very pride, very cruel, very envious. He offends Garudji, takes away everything. And when he takes, like this, Garudji becomes very, very angry by the arrogance of Kalia. And there is a fight which takes place, and Garudji somehow fights Kalia, and Kalia runs for his life, runs and finally comes to this lake, finally where this Leela starts, that he's staying in this lake where he hears a story that Garudji will not come here. Because one time there was a sage, Shaubari, who was doing tapasya there, a very fortunate stage doing tapasya in Yamuna. But he got, because he's doing tapasya in Yamuna and he was living in Yamuna, so he got attached to all the species of that place, and there were many, many fishes who were staying there. And naturally, when you are staying at some place, you develop attachment. And in that material attachment, you forget what is right, what is wrong. Now, Garudji would regularly come and take up some fish from there. Take up some. That was natural food. And whenever Garudji would come and wanting to take the fish, Shaubari Muni got very angry because Shaubari Muni was attached. All these fishes had taken shelter. Shaubari Muni assumed they are in my shelter. Now, Shaubari Muni, while extending compassion to the fishes, he forget that here is a great soul, Garudji. And I cannot offend Garudji. So he ordered Garudji that you cannot come and take any fish from here. And but Garudji, that is the first offense he did to Garudji, that you cannot come and take any fish from here. And when Garudji insisted and he still took away the fish, he gave a curse to Garudji that you cannot come. If you come, you will lose your life. Just for the compassion for an ordinary living entity out of material attachment, he offended such a great soul. But anyway, Garudji, to respect the curse, did not come there again. And Kalia came to know that this is the lake where Garudji will not come. So I can make my whole abode here with all the wives and all the children and all the small serpents and the big serpents, and all the family members came and started staying there. Now, that is the place where Kalia completely filled up the whole lake with poison. And it is described, it was so poisonous that poison was spreading everywhere, in the air, in the water, on the land outside. Kalia was so poisonous, the lake was so much poison, no other species could survive there. In fact, the breeze which would flow over the lake and would come on the land would carry the droplets of poison. And for vast area, many trees and the plants and all the vegetation had been destroyed. Such was the effect of the poison. And in the water, all the species were dying. Now when Krishna comes with all the boys, and all the boys just touches the water, and all the species, immediately all the boys immediately lose their life. Krishna notices, and just by his glance, he glances over all the boys, all the calves, and all the cows, immediately they come back to life. So it is described immediately the surprise, because just now they had died and just now they come back to life within a short time by the glance of Krishna. And they understand it is nothing, no one else but Supreme Lord Govinda, by whose glance this has happened. Govinda, who is the nourisher, who is the protector of the cows, who protects the whole cowherd community, his glance immediately came back to life. But Krishna decided it's time, and immediately tightened his waist belt and slapped his arms and climbed on top of a tree. Now also we go to Vrindavan, we see the tree where Krishna climbed, and he jumped into the river. And it is described the jump into the river created such effects, such waves, such tremors in the lakes, that all the serpents got agitated. Kalia got it. Everybody could feel. Now one has to remember that here Krishna is in the form of a very small boy, a small village boy. He has not increased his form. He is very small. He is very ordinary looking. He is just a village boy. And here he enters and creates such effects that the waves, it is said, they come out and cover vast tract of land surrounding the lake. And all the species are thrown apart, all the serpents are agitated, all the serpents are vomiting poison out of anger. And so here this description starts here. I'll read some of the verses side by side. It is said, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead landed in the serpent's lake, the snakes there became extremely agitated and began breathing heavily, further polluting it with volumes of poison. The force of the Lord's entrance into the lake caused it to overflow on all sides, and poisonous fearsome waves flooded the surrounding lands up to a distance of 100 bow lengths. This is not at all amazing, however, for the Supreme Lord possesses infinite strength. As soon as he entered, it appeared that Krishna was sporting in the lake like a lordly elephant, swirling his mighty arms, making the water resound in various waves. When Kalia heard these sounds, he understood someone was trespassing his lake. Serpent could not tolerate this, and immediately he came forward. Acharyas explain that when the Lord entered the lake, he was playing with the water, he's sporting with the water, and nice musical sounds were coming simply by splashing his hands and arms. Now here Krishna entered, and immediately Kalia arose, and Kalia immediately took Krishna in the grips of his coils. And Krishna, like an ordinary boy, in the coils, as if he is defeated. He is lying there. And all the boys, as soon as they saw Krishna has jumped, they all fell unconscious. They could not maintain their life, because these boys, their life and soul, everything was within Krishna. They had submitted everything. Their wealth, their minds, their family, their body, everything was for Krishna. Just 4 days back, Akinchan Krishna Prabhu was giving a Bhagavatam class, and I think in the beginning of class he mentioned this story about he saw a video somewhere that there's a rickshaw driver who is driving and he hits a person who is walking. I was hearing that class, and he hits a person on the walking, and the person falls. And the rickshawala is concerned that his rickshaw is not damaged. He doesn't even look at the person who is falling there. And somebody comes and picks up the wallet of the person and walks away, or mobile or wallet something. And he was telling that how people are seeing here somebody has fallen, but they are not concerned in taking care of him. They are concerned in taking care of their own self. He said, unless there is relationship, one does not feel any pain, one does not feel any fear, one does not feel affected. But when there is a sambandha, then there is fear. This expression Prabhupada gives very beautifully in another section of Bhagavatam, where Kamsa, like we are discussing, this rickshawala has no relationship with this man. This person who picks up his mobile has no relationship with this man. He doesn't feel any fear. Now here we see Vrajavasis, when they see, they become so fearful that they collapse, they die. What kind of sambandha they have with Krishna? And therefore Shukdev Goswami here elaborates, they are the one who have given up their lives, their souls, their wealth, their family, their property, their body, everything is in Krishna. Anything happens to Krishna, as if they have lost their life, they collapse, they immediately die. They become unconscious. Such was the connection with Krishna. Srila Prabhupada writes in one of the purports in the first or second chapter of 10th canto, when Krishna was born in the prison, and Vasudeva was carrying Krishna in the prison. And Krishna actually, as soon as he was born, he wanted Devaki and Vasudeva to know that he is the same Vishnu, four-armed form, Chaturbhuj Roop, he appears. And then Vasudeva sees Chaturbhuj Roop. Vasudeva sees four-handed form. Vasudeva and Devaki both see. And after Krishna comes back to the newborn infant form, Vasudeva becomes very fearful that Kamsa will kill him. And Vasudeva wants him to just go away. And Vasudeva actually tells, you assume if Kamsa comes to know you are Vishnu, he will immediately come and attack. Now it's surprising. Here he is seeing, here is Krishna. He is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vasudeva offers so many prayers. Devaki offers prayers. Then they again become fearful that Krishna, I am very fearful of, that Krishna will be attacked. Prabhupada says, this is surprising. Knowing Krishna is Supreme Personality, but the nature of affection is such that you become fearful, in spite of knowing that Krishna is the real protector. And Prabhupada says, similarly, we in our Krishna consciousness movement, we know that the preaching will expand. We know Krishna consciousness will spread in all directions. But still we are fearful that demoniac forces will come and stop it. So very beautifully Prabhupada brings out this point that a devotee who has affection for this movement is very fearful. And he protects this movement like Vasudeva and Devaki protects the movement like Krishna, like their own child. That is their fear. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings this song, Manas deho geho jo kichu more. Now this is what Srila Prabhupada has given, Acharyas have come to give us this level of Krishna consciousness, where somebody gives up his mind, Manasa Deha Geha, his body, his possessions and all his family. Everything is surrendered for Krishna's service. And all these boys lose consciousness. And it is described all the cows, all the bulls, all the female, all the calves, small calves, they all shouting, making noises, calling out for Krishna. Krishna! I don't know how they shouted, how they made noise. I don't know how the cows shouted, Krishna! You can all shout. Like that. Who made that? Great. Can we have once more? Everyone please. Krishna! Krishna! Once more. Krishna! Krishna! Once more. Krishna! Krishna! The whole atmosphere was vibrating with the fear of their heart that Krishna is gone. That was the only fear. They had no other fear that, oh, I will not get married. Or I will get married. That was not their fear. Their fear was this: Krishna is gone. And it is described all the cows, all the calves, all the bulls were stunned, as if they lost their life. And Krishna also was behaving very much like a drama, he's playing, as if an ordinary boy is caught up in the coils, like a ordinary mortal, small boy is lying in the coils. Jaise ki abhi to gaya. Like in Bollywood movies, hero and villain fight. And sometimes when you are watching the movie, you actually feel abhi to hero gaya, And sometimes people who are watching, they get so involved. Now here, we see Shukadeva Parikshit Maharaj conversation, these boys get so involved in the Leela. Like the other day somebody was mentioning, some movies, I was discussing in one, sometimes, you see in some movies, here in a house, the hero is there, the heroine is there, his husband, wife is there. And the movie, another scene is seen, that the husband is going to go out and the villain is going to enter. And everybody is watching the movie. No, hero doesn't know. Hero just walks out to his office. And another scene, villain is standing on the other side. And the person is watching, oh my God, no, do not go to the office, please, stop there. They get so involved. No, so they are so fearful. They have no idea that Krishna is powerful. They have no idea of Krishna's opulence. And this is creating such tremors that it is described in the whole land of Raj. There are different kinds of bad omens are seen. अपशकुन दिख रहे हैं जगह जगह पे, आसमान में, पृथ्वी में, शरीर में. पृथ्वी में कंपन हो रहा है, शरीर, बिजली चमक रही है उधर, शरीर में कंपन हो रहा है. The left side of the body is trembling, quivering. The left eye is quivering. The whole body is trembling. And all the Vrajavasis understand. They know bad omen, only thing which is bad is something danger to Krishna. उसके अलावा कुछ bad है ही नहीं उनके जीवन में. If something happens, some bad omen, we may think, our house is on fire, or office is on fire, or some tragedy is going to happen, some accident. They have no other fear except that Krishna is in danger. I was thinking, if some omen takes place, you can think of so many things, right? I'm going to lose my foot, I'm going to lose my eye, some danger is going to fall upon me, I'm going to lose my wealth. All the Vrajavasis in unison have one thought: what happened to Krishna at Yamuna? Surprising, no? Why they should think only of Krishna at Yamuna? जब कोई अपशकुन दिखता है, सबको एक ही thought क्यों आया? Krishna is in danger. They can think of so many other things. Again the same principle. Because they have given their mind, their body, their wealth, their whole self to Krishna. And the only danger is Krishna is in danger. One should think about this, that the bad omens take place, only one thought they come to their mind. Now Balaram ji is standing there and he is smiling. He is watching everyone. Arey ghabra gaye to. It's like somebody who has already seen the movie. Right? So he is wondering, what are you fearful of? Just look next what happens. As soon as the villain comes, hero is going to come back. Arey, mera wallet reh gaya. And then he comes back and they realize, oh, this is going to something. Or you do not know the strength of the hero. Balram realizes, you do not know the strength of our hero. अपना तो हीरो नंबर 1 है, मजाक नहीं है कोई है. कृष्ण अरे बाहुली दिखता है. What they were singing? उसकी लीला न्यारी. What was this song? Some statement like that. Very beautiful song they were performing. Both the performances so good. Kahna teri leela nyari, something like that they were singing. Leela, Balram knew Kahna ki leela is very nyari. Krishna has entered. Now Vrajvasis do not even know what has happened, but Balram ji knows what has happened. But he's smiling. अरे क्यों डर रहे हो? ये bad omens जो अपशकुन दिख रहे हैं, ये बनाए इसके लिए गए हैं कि आप घबरा जाओ और आपको थोड़ा लीला में आनंद आए. ये तो मूवी का आनंद देने के लिए बनाया गया है. And then all these, they run and they see where to find Krishna. And now very easy to find Krishna. Just find the footprints of Krishna. Now Krishna's footprints are so, it is described distinct from everyone. They are not ordinary. So many footprints. Boys were there, cows were there. First of all, in such a big assembly, Krishna travels with the whole entourage with him. But his footprints do not get trampled. Now here again Acharyas comment why. If they have to reach Yamuna, which bank of Yamuna? Sometimes I remember in our yatras we used to go, Vrindavan yatras, and those days mobile were not there, old time. Now the whole group has moved in, you don't know how to find them now. They've gone. Even Rath Yatras, now mobiles are there. Even Rath Yatras, we would have Jagannath Rath Yatra. So if Rath Yatra is there and Rath Yatra has left and you came like 1 hour late, if you know, how will you go which route they have gone? Then you have to ask every shopkeeper, idhar se gaya Rath, idhar se gaya. And still some shopkeepers are so absorbed in their business, they do not even remember Rath gaya ki nahi gaya. And I am wondering, thousands of people pass from this route and you can't see Rath gaya? Pata nahi, dekha nahi, idhar gaya, malum nahi. Vrajvasis have no problem. In the soft dust of Vrindavan, the footprints are there. Just follow the footprints. And they are distinct. They have specific marks. Of an elephant goat, of a flag, of a thunderbolt, of a lotus, of a barleycorn. Beautiful footprints are there. And Krishna is walking, and all the cows also, forget about cowherd boys, they do not step on Krishna's footprint, Acharyas explain, because they consider that as their only wealth. उनके जीवन का एक ही धन क्या है? कृष्ण के चरण कमल. That is the only thing they value. If Srila Prabhupada's purports, if these Acharyas' purports would not have been there, we were just, I remember when I saw that Mahabharata serial on the television, the old Mahabharata, and we saw whole Krishna Leela. Who would have told us these hidden meanings of Krishna Leela? देख लिया story, हाँ मालूम है कृष्ण ने, and we would not even appreciate that here is God, here is Kaliya, here something very, very adbhut is taking place. Now here Acharya, just by the word adbhut, they give commentary. ये अद्भुत का मतलब क्या है? क्या क्या अद्भुत कर्म किया इन्होंने? एक लीला में क्या क्या कर डाला? एक पंथ कहीं कास कर डाले. We would not even appreciate. Like yesterday one boy came and he was telling me, he said in their college time a professor came to their class. Now see what kind of interpretations people have. If we do not have Acharya's commentaries. He gave the class and he was telling, in the middle of class, he was teaching management principles. And he was using Ramayana for management principles. And he is telling that, you see who is good, Ravan or Ram? गलती क्या थी रावण की बताओ? मार दिया राम ने ऐसा. Cruel Ram. This he is telling. Professor, to all the, and he is not telling cruel, he is telling, आप लोग बताइए राम सही है रावण. I will tell you the story, you tell. So all the boys are hearing. Now, when teenage, very, very, you say, जो impression, any children, teenage, जो impression डाल दिया. Now that boy heard in his teenage, and now several years later he's asking me this question. He said, I'm still carrying this question. वो जो सुन लिया उस दिन, क्या question था? He said, गलती क्या थी बताओ रावण की? रावण की बहन पे राम ने अत्याचार किया, और वो भी लक्ष्मण ने अत्याचार किया. तो लक्ष्मण से प्रेम की वजह से राम वेंट एंड टुक रिवेंज विद रावण. पर प्रॉब्लम क्या था? इट वाज शूर्पणखा who was tortured by Ram, and therefore Ravan became angry. Therefore Ravan took away Sita. And all the boys, yeah, makes sense. We never thought like that. That makes sense. It was not Ravan who first attacked. It was Ram who first attacked. And rest of the Ramayana nobody told. Huh? And then the professor said, and Ravan की भक्ति देखो, शिव का बहुत बड़ा भक्त था, हमेशा मंत्र पूजा तंत्र वगैरह में लगा रहता था. And then he told all about bhakti and this and that. And then we were discussing, you go to a bar, to some bar in some this nearby area, and then you sit there and you sit with the owner और उसकी भक्ति करो, पांव दबाओ उसकी. कितना अच्छा सेवा कर रहा है, नहीं? कितना अच्छा आदमी है. And after that, what do you demand? I want to enjoy with your wife, or I want to break all the principles. Simple thing, What is the motivation? You are apparently doing bhakti, puja, sitting in the mandir, doing all this and that. But Ravan's motivation, these professors are putting these impressions, and this boy even now is confused. Sach mein Ram acha tha ya Ravan acha tha? And this boy has heard Ramayana from his grandfather whole childhood. That impression did not strike him. But when the professor told, here acharyas are telling that when cowherd men followed Krishna, they followed his footprints, because footprints were not trampled by the cows, because they considered that as their only wealth. And they're highlighting this point, that how even the ordinary appearing animals, this was the wealth. Krishna was their only wealth. And like this they reached. And from a distance they saw. What did they see? They saw Krishna is tied in the coils. All the boys have already fainted. Whether they are living or died, malum nahi. And all the cows, all the bulls, all the calves are stunned, chanting, Krishna! Nobody considers it a wealth. Come on, like a wealth. Krishna! When I am chanting sound systems, wealth is getting affected. So they are also worried, right? Protecting Krishna's property. And all the cows were chanting there. But now, they are making noises. Whom they will ask, what exactly happened? Krishna slipped in the water. Krishna jumped in the water. Or Kaliya took away Krishna. Hua kya actually? They have no idea. And Balramji is still smiling. Balram knows everything. He knows the opulence, he knows the power, he knows all the energy of Krishna. And then it is described, different people who are watching the whole Leela. All the young gopis, when they saw Krishna in the coils, they saw Krishna is, they have no idea Krishna is living, died, and they are remembering all past experiences with Krishna. Krishna's smiling face, Krishna talks with them, how Krishna used to have exchanges with them, how Krishna used to exchange affection with them. And they were completely absorbed in that. All the elderly gopis, now they are completely lost their life. They were like living dead bodies. खड़े हैं, सांस ले रहे हैं, लेकिन मृत के समान हैं. And Yashoda wants to jump into, all the elderly gopis also want to jump into the water, but the elderly gopis are holding, they are putting all their strength, at least somehow first save Yashoda. So although they are holding Yashoda, tears are flowing, crying, but they are somehow maintaining their life to protect Yashoda. And in the meantime, all the men, all the cowherd men, elderly men are preparing. Let us jump, let us go and save Krishna. Krishna is there, Krishna will die. And Balramji goes and stops. Balramji at this point smiles. He says, what are you? You do not understand anything? So this morning Vraj Bihari Prabhu was telling so beautifully that how Such is the love of Vrajavasis. Completely, apparently ignorance that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such is the depth of love. So he was telling different levels. One is our ignorance. ना तो प्रेम है ना भगवान की भगवत्ता का ज्ञान है. Both sides ignorance in conditioned phase. We are just involved in our own. Imagine, how many of you came on Prabhupada Janmashtami here? Darshan? I'm sure most of you come. Janmashtami. You saw Prabhupada's darshan out there. Now you see that handsome lady and handsome man and some lady was standing there. Now some people did not even read that. ये क्या है? And they were having all kind of ideas. ये क्या दर्शाया है इधर? So one boy thought that maybe they are advertising some T-shirt and something. किसी ने पैसा दिया मंदिर के लिए, तो उसका advertisement करके रखा है. And somebody thought that they are showing that how Swamiji is a धीर पुरुष. बाजू में सब हिप्पी लोग खड़े हैं and he is meditating perfectly. And they were thinking their meditations is perfect. That's what they understand. They have no understanding what's happening out here. So that's one ignorance. No idea what's happening in this temple, what you are seeing, who is who, just come. But then your next level is in knowledge. We have knowledge. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. We should do sadhana bhakti. But here is Vrajavasis. They have transcended the stage of knowledge. They have got covered up another kind of ignorance where they do not know Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Absolutely. And Balramji is laughing. Some men he holds and gets them back. Do not go. Some men he calls them. Do not go. No need. Krishna will take care of himself. Krishna will be protected. And to some men he just gives a smiling indication with his glance. No need. No need. Krishna will protect. And Balramji stops everyone. So the gopis are stopping Yashoda Mai. All the young gopis are fainting. All the elderly men are shot by Balaramji. And in the water, Kaliya is holding in the grips. And by this time, it is described, now Kaliya is also observing Krishna's beauty. See, they are also observing, Kaliya is also observing. And when Kaliya is observing Krishna's beauty, he can see the whole body is shining beautifully. He can see his lotus feet look like cluster of lotus flower. He can see the beautiful yellowish garment. He can see the lotus-like eyes. He can see Srivatsa on the chest. He can see the smiling beautiful face. He can see every limb which was captivating and churning and creating such emotions in the mind of all the Vrajavasis. Kaliya could see all that beauty. The beauty which gives the name Krishna, the all attractive, Kaliya could see. And the more he would see the attractive feature of Krishna, the more envious he would become. And Purport explains, this is the nature of envy, envious demons. Devotees, they see Krishna, they feel happy, blissful. In the previous chapters, in one of the chapters it is explained, when Krishna would dance with the cowherd friends, all the boys would dance. Sometimes Krishna and Balram would dance and all the boys, would clap. Very nice, very good dance, very good dance. They would dance. And sometimes boys would dance and Krishna and Balram would sit. And they would say, sometimes they would play cymbals, they would play kartals. Sometimes they would play the drums. Sometimes play flute. And sometimes Krishna and Balram would just see and watch. Sometimes the devotees are dancing in kirtan. So some people like to dance, some people just watch. And watching is also great bliss. Just watch. When devotees are dancing, just watching them. Look at the bliss on their face. Anybody, any innocent person gets captivated. What a scene this is. What a scene to behold, the beauty of a kirtan. But then we have seen the same kirtan, some people cannot digest the whole phenomena. They just become wild. Stop this kirtan, we can't handle, this is noise, this is disturbance, this, that. Such a beautiful sight. Just watching is so, but then again, it depends on the disposition of the heart. When you are envious, most beautiful thing you can't behold. But when there is an innocence, there is a love, the same thing appears extraordinary. And what to speak of Krishna, who was extraordinary? So many people just change by looking at Kirtan. We go for Harinams. You should see, sometimes we go in the morning for Harinam, and you go to morning and 7:30, 8 o'clock you're going to Harinam, and 9 o'clock we are ending Harinam and somebody is looking out of the window, with brushing the teeth and face falling off all, because he can't hold his smile. Suddenly he's brushing and he smiles, and all thing comes right on his kurta. I have seen this, and he's in bliss as if he wants to jump right there. And some of them jump also. On the street, somebody is sleeping on the corner and he finds Kirtan so blissful, not even taken bath, sometimes not taken bath for days looks like, and he jumps right into the Kirtan. And one time I remember I was in the Kirtan and this man he was smelling so bad and he come and hugged me like this. He was so happy. And you know why? Because he was drunk. Fully intoxicated. So when somebody is intoxicated, then apparently, he becomes kind of innocent, sort of innocence. Ignorance is bliss. But those who are intoxicated with pride and can't digest. Kaliya, such envy in the heart. Same Krishna is so captivating to the boys, to all the gopis. So forget about Krishna. The imprints of his lotus feet are so captivating. Then all these so many cows are not stepping over it. Forget about that. Recently Gaurang Prabhu was giving that beautiful class on Janmashtami of the 5 powers of Krishna. One of the power he was talking, power of holy name, power of Krishna's protection, power of Krishna's deliverance. So Krishna's holy name is so attractive. Rupa Goswami says, Ko jane janita ki adbhiramritaye krishneti varnadvai. Kaliya cannot digest Krishna, who is so appealing. Rupa Goswami says, forget about Krishna, his holy name is so appealing. What is the appealing? This verse will captivate you. Tunde tandavini ratim vitanute tundavali labdhaye. Karna krodha kadambini ghatayate karnar buddhebhyas priham. His holy name, when chanted, it captivates. Holy name captivates so much whole existence that I feel like having millions and millions and millions of tongues. What kind of captivating potency that is. Karna krodha kadam karnar buddhebhyas priyam. I feel like having millions of ears. What kind of captivating power. Now if Rupa Goswami is captivated like that with holy name, and when we chant the holy name, we are thinking when to get rid of this holy name, when this mala will finish and we get rid of. Done. We can't handle the taste of the holy name. And he says, Chetah prangana sangini vijayate. Like that. Sarvendriyani kriti. Captivates all my senses, become stunned. 1 hour. All my senses are 1 hour. Like people were coming that sadam was made with such love, on Nandotsav, and somebody put that kala jamun. My tongue is fully captivated. And then somebody take that, and some people have no idea what that soup is, Ye dal hai, sambar hai, ya soup hai. How many of you tasted, that we had Italian rice, Italian soup, and what else was there? Italian dum aloo. What kind of unique combinations. And then we had cutlet and kala jamun. And somebody said, I just felt like having that kala jamun again and again. My senses were captivated completely. Now our senses get captivated by kala jamun. Or somebody said, these Italian spices, when they're getting cooked in the kitchen, I hope all of you like, maybe some of you don't like, but this devotee was telling that when these Italian spices enter my nose, and by the way, he's one of the ashram devotees, so he's staying here only. So he's telling it is cooked in the kitchen, and I'm in my room, and then it just captivates. It just pulls me. It captivates the senses. Rupa Goswami is telling, holy name captivates my whole existence. My Chetah Prangan, it enters the, how you say Prangan? Courtyard of my consciousness. And Kaliya could not handle that Krishna. Rupa Goswami says, Ko jane janita kiyadbhir. Anybody knows? Kiyadbhir amrite. What nectar is there in these holy names? Can anybody tell me? What nectar? Amrite, in these two syllables, Krishna. Prabhu, please once again. Krishna. Oh, you look like Kaliya suffering with Krishna. Come on. Krishna. Krishna. This is full of nectar. One last time. Krishna. Krishna. Like that. Holy name is full of nectar. And Kaliya is holding and looking at that beauty and his envy and his poison and his agitation. And his heart is also getting churned like gopis, but out of anger. Increasing and increasing and increasing and increasing. And then Krishna decides, abhi Vrajavasi bahut pareshan ho gaye hain, bahut dukh de diya unko. Now this dukh also we can understand. Morning some devotee, I don't know if the devotee is here, asking some questions to Vraj Bihari Prabhu about what were the questions about the Pradyumna and why Krishna doesn't save him and different pastimes. No, these leelas are not only about saving. These leelas are about churning the emotions in the heart of devotees. Krishna is not concerned with saving is okay, he's concerned, that's secondary. But in Vrindavan, he's churning the hearts. And he's creating more and more love. I mean, if we have to understand, we have to enter Krishna consciousness, start practicing it. Bhakti practice karenge, Krishna ko invite karenge apni tongue pe, then we will see churning starts. And then Putana will come out, and Trinavarta will come out, and Pranambasur will come out, Dhenuka will come out. वो churning हुआ नहीं तो कुछ बाहर आया नहीं. And then we are wondering why Krishna is not protecting. Arey, Vrindavan Leela is not for protecting, it's for churning the hearts. It's for creating emotions, attraction to Krishna. That is the whole purpose. This churning can be experienced only when one takes to practice of Krishna consciousness. Only when you invite Krishna in the waters of the lake, then the manthan takes place. So till that time one will read, ye kya leela hai, kya maja hai isme. Until that time we will go and enjoy Bajrangi Bhaijan and Gabbar is back. We will not enjoy Kaliya Leela. That will be very interesting. I was on the Bombay Central and that movie is displayed there. I don't know, it's still displayed. That DDLJ movie, you know, on Maratha Mandir. How many years? 25 years or 20 years something. And then people, even these movies, you know, some scene, somebody was showing me that scene of that movie Gabbar is back. I'm not interested in that movie by the way, but they were showing that scene. If anybody has seen this, and if you have not seen, do not see. But they were showing, this devotee told me he got inspired to see the whole movie because of this scene. Those who have seen must be curious, kya scene tha wo? And that scene where, who is that hero? Akshay Kumar, right? Akshay Kumar, he exposes the whole hospital there. How he brings a dead body and the doctors claim that, I will not tell more story, otherwise you will get curious. But he got captivated but just by seeing that movie, that scene. Ye pura movie mein kya hai? You know that. So here when you invite Krishna on your tongue, Krishna's lotus feet, you invite Krishna in the heart, such churning takes place. Every verse of this Leela speaks something. It becomes so nectarian. But till the time you invite Krishna on your tongue, nothing is going to happen. It will, till that time only Gabbar is back will be interesting. And Kaliya will not be interesting. Or whatever other movies. I don't know much names of the movies. But that will be interesting. Then what happened? And Krishna realizes devotees are in anxiety. He expands and he expands and he expands. Expands his power. And Kaliya realizes now it's becoming too heavy. Now he's got in the opponent mood. Abhi takkar barabar ki ho rahi hai. And he expands and expands. And then Kaliya cannot handle. Kaliya releases. And then he sees Krishna. He tries to attack him with one hood and another hood and another hood. He had 101 prominent hoods. And then he says 1000 hoods Kaliya had. And Kaliya is attacking and attacking. And Krishna every time escapes. And they are going in circle. Krishna is jumping from here to here to here to here. Huh? And such jumping is going on, and Kalia is trying to attack, and Kalia has 1,000 hoods, and Krishna is a small boy. He's small boy. Let's say even if he's 6 feet, let's say that. I mean, I don't know, what would be the height of Krishna at that time? He's a small boy. Let us say even if he's 6 feet. But in front of 1,000 hoods of Kalia. He was actually a small boy. I don't know, because it is said that time Krishna's original height is big, right? Those times big. So maybe when he was a young boy, he was taller. And he's jumping and jumping, and and the more Kalia gets defeated, the more he's frustrated, the more he emits poison. And he throws poison. He tries to attack. And Krishna every time escape. And they're going circles and circles and circles. But the Vrajavasis are in anxiety. Krishna knows, and I have to also smash the pride. And he jumps on one hood of Kalia and dances and dances. Acharyas describe, he holds Kalia's shoulder and bends him. जो झुकता नहीं है उसको जबरदस्ती झुकाया जाता है. जो लोग भगवान के नाम के सामने नहीं झुकते, जो लोग भगवान के नाम को स्वीकार नहीं करते, जो लोग भगवान की शक्ति को स्वीकार नहीं करते, जो लोग भगवान की आज्ञा को स्वीकार नहीं करते, शरणागति को स्वीकार नहीं करते, काल उनको झुका देता है. इन द फॉर्म ऑफ डेथ, इन द फॉर्म ऑफ क्रुएलिटी. But surrender, moment to moment, life becomes blissful. That bliss which only a devotee knows what it means. When Kalia was not ready to surrender out of pride, one hood comes and one hood comes. Finally Krishna thought, I have to humble him. He took hold of him and bent him and kept his feet on top of his head, started dancing, and that dance is worship. Where do you see the pictures of Kalia? You see pictures of Kalia in his dancing pose on the hoods of Kalia. That became, those pictures were clicked by demigods. I don't know, imagine if they would have cameras, we would have stored some soft copies of those and we would have immediately seen what happened there. But then we can't see soft copies. We need eyes of devotion. Because even now this Leela takes place, but we can't see. It is described, then he was dancing on one hood, on another hood, on another hood. And at one point he smashed most of the hoods. Almost all. But Kalia's pride could not be smashed. आदमी मरते दम तक लड़ता है जब अहंकारित होता है. Somebody who is humble, initially, in the initial phase only understands. In the young age only he will understand. But then sometimes you keep telling till the last moment what life is all about, what is the goal. You keep hammering and hammering. Now, Kalia at the end tried एक और hood, I will try. कृष्णा बोला अभी भी अक्कल आई नहीं, अभी भी जान गई नहीं. He holds him, crushes him, jumps over it. It is described that Kalia's hood had gems, jewels, which are very hard. And if you dance constant, no, it was a snake's coil, so slippery also, but hard stone. और हार्ड स्टोन पे डांस करेंगे. And Krishna's feet are very soft, like lotus. Kalia also saw they are like cluster of lotus flowers, very soft. Now soft feet dancing on hard jewels, thumping, 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 thumping. And then what happens? The feet becomes red like copper. गरम हो जाते हैं, लाल हो जाते हैं. And Krishna sees all the young gopis are watching, and he becomes more artistic. He becomes more stylish in his dancing. He wants to give them more pleasure. Because this was something they always like to see. Krishna as the best of the dancers. Natvar. And thumping and thumping and thumping. And red. And so artistic, he slips on one coil, another coil, another coil. I mean, really, just if you read this, you will develop this desire. I mean, that will become a perfection. You read this few times, you will develop a desire. If once I can see Krishna dancing, you Gaur Leela, you read, you get a desire. Once I can see Nityanand Prabhu and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. See, these scriptures give us these desires. They fill our heart with these desires. Otherwise, so many desires. Otherwise, you see Gabbar is back and you feel, I want to become Gabbar. You see, all kind of desires. So, here these things are creating. Krishna's dance they want to see, they felt so perfect. And then Krishna crushed one hood after another hood, and it is described finally the hood which came up, Krishna crushed that. And all the poison had come out. And nothing was left. Only thing which was left was blood. Crushing, crushing, crushing. Sometimes we feel, we'll manage our life. But Krishna knows, till you surrender, you will not make the meaning of life. Krishna has to crush again and again to make you surrender. All the blood was coming out. Krishna saw, now poison is gone. Sara poison khatam ho gaya. Now Kaliya by this time could see poison sara chala gaya, blood is coming out, all my power is gone. He was exhausted. Wives could see that here, who is dancing on the hoods of Kaliya? He is carrying the whole universe in his abdomen. That person is dancing on the hoods of Kaliya. Are hamare husband kitna thak gaya rahega. Who is dancing? Who is carrying the whole universe within the abdomen? That person is dancing on the head of our husband. He must be so tired, exhausted. And they could see Kaliya's face. And Kaliya could also understand, अरे अपनी दुश्मनी तो गरुड़ जी से थी, लेकिन अभी जो आया है वो तो गरुड़ जी का भी मालिक है, गरुड़ का भी बाप निकला. In a simple language, he is thousands of times powerful than Garuda. गरुड़ से भाग के आया था, लेक में शरण लिया था. He understood, अरे इसका तो शक्ति हजारों गुना ज्यादा है. This must be none other than, तभी ट्यूबलाइट जली. This must be none other than Supreme Personality of Godhead. That time his face first time had the expression of humility. First time had the expression of remorse. First time had the expression of some guilt. First time he developed a desire in his mind. That first time all practitioners of Krishna consciousness should wait for. When you develop that real humility, when you develop a desire, okay, now I should surrender. Give up all my false ego, all my pride, all my envy. Just do as told. Wives of Kaliya are telling Krishna later on. He says, just by following your orders, one gets fearlessness. Who likes to follow orders? Anybody likes to follow orders? Orders are something, the word order is only very disgusting. हुकुम देता है मेरे को. डायलॉग में बोलते हैं हम, आपका हुकुम सर आंखों पर. But hukum is not something you like, hukum. And wives are telling, just by following your orders one becomes fearless. No, first time he developed this desire, I should follow with all surrender. And Krishna is noticing, in the heart, from outside, wives are noticing. And that time, so till now, Acharyas say, till now, wives were actually praying. मरने दो इसको, अच्छा है मर जाएगा, हम विधवा हो जाएंगी, अच्छे से भक्ति करेंगी. Who needs such a poisonous, such a envious? Isn't it like that? Some of them I think read today this chapter, right? Today they had a class there. So they were thinking, let him die. Which woman? Now this is another thing. What kind of devotional sentiments are this? That the only master, only husband, only pati, only life and soul is Krishna. Even if husband has to die, this envious husband, who needs this envious husband? And Kaliya was remembering, अरे हमारी पत्नियों ने जीवन भर समझाया, मेरी पत्नियों ने जीवन भर समझाया, समझ में नहीं आया. That was the time. And hearing is helpful, no? Even if one does not practice, if it just comes and hears, and hears, and hears, Shravan karte raho. Because Kaliya was hearing, and hearing from the wives, surrender to Narayan, give up envy, give up this poison. Garudji is a carrier of Narayan. Why you are so envious? He could not handle all the time, but because he was hearing, now when the time of test came, that hearing came to his help. Yaad aaya. Arey, wives told me all the time. Wives were telling me all the time. And that time the remorse came. So wives started praying to Krishna. That we were thinking all the while, let husband die. But the moment this expression changed, and we saw his humility, we saw how much guilt he has, we saw how much desire he has developed in his mind to surrender. अभी बोला भी नहीं है, उसके मन में इच्छा आ गया. And why this इच्छा came? Because of association with these wives who were devotees. भक्तों का संग बहुत लाभदायक होता है. चाहे हृदय में जितना भी एनवी हो, लेकिन अगर संग में सुना है तो कभी ना कभी वो श्रवण बहुत लाभदायक जिंदगी में लाभ में आता है. एनवी तो सबके ही हृदय में है. Who likes Krishna? One lecture was going on and one man, I mean he's a senior man, he was asking, I don't feel like chanting. Whenever I chant, I go to sleep. So I was kind of quite cruel in my answer. He said, why it happens? Sometimes I am very cruel like that. So I said, he said, why it happens? I said, because there is envy in the heart. He was like, what? To a new person, what? Envy in the heart? And some of his family members who brought him, no, I mean, what Prabhuji is trying to say, that sometimes you get tired and you are sleepy. I said, no, because there is envy in the heart. And he could not digest. What? Envy? So envy is there. We do not like Krishna. We do not like Krishna's beauty. When somebody asks, you spent, how many fruits we offered? 5,200. How much it was? 43? 5,243 kept. And then with all the and Krishna's dress, if somebody knows what is the cost of the dress, and the flowers which are offered, I'm not sure if I should reveal all the figures. But anyway, some people, itna paisa. And the Jhulan festival which we had every day, thousands and thousands of rupees in just flowers for 3 hours, and after that all the flowers washed away. 3 घंटे में हजारों रुपया washed away. And we immediately come, इतना पैसा, अरे इतना तो मेरा महीने का तनख्वाह भी नहीं है और आप एक दिन के 3 घंटे में झूले में उड़ा दिया उसको. Krishna's opulence can't be digested unless you know the understanding philosophy behind it, why we are doing what we are doing, how watering the root satisfies the whole universe, satisfies all the community. Kaliya's, so wives are telling, this person is so envious. What chances are there that he will get some fortune? ऐसे एनवियस व्यक्ति को कोई कृपा नहीं मिलनी चाहिए, वो किसी कृपा का पात्र ही नहीं है. It is पात्र की बात आती है, so there is something mentioned when Krishna was dancing on him, his nostrils were like cooking vessels for poison. ऐसा लग रहा है विष पकाने के पात्र हैं उसकी जो nostrils हैं, और आंखों से आग निकल रही थी. ऐसे व्यक्ति को कौन कृपा देगा? And they are wondering, why you gave kripa, why you gave mercy to this Kaliya? Lakshmi ji does tapasya for thousands of years. She doesn't get it so easily, and you are dancing, and you are not dancing with us also, in one sense, dancing on our husband's head, who has never been a devotee, who has been envious, and dancing and dancing and dancing. And there is one verse which comes here in the prayers. He says, they say, yeah, this is verse comes again in Bhagavatam. He says, Nanaka prishtham nacha sarvabhaumam na parameshtham na rasadhipatyam. He says, those who have attained, they say, wives are saying, those who have attained the dust of your lotus feet, जिनको आपके चरण कमलों की धूल मिली है, they never hanker. Now wives are telling, what are the glories of these lotus feet, which this envious rascal has just now got. We have been dancing with such agility, such flexibility, such beauty, such charisma. You know who gets this lotus feet? Somebody who never hankers for Swarga, for limitless sovereignty. All the planetary systems, he doesn't want that. Position of Brahma he rejects. Na parameshtyam. Na rasadhipatyam, he does not want rulership over the whole planet earth. Na yoga siddhir, ऐसे चरणों की धूल मिल जाए, any intelligent man will open his ears, open his eyes and see what is mentioned about the power of Krishna's lotus feet. अगर वो चरणों की सेवा मिल जाए, he gives up योग सिद्धिर, सारी सिद्धियों को नकार देते हैं. Apunarbhavam va. He rejects mukti also. Such is the power. And you gave that mercy? What is special? They cannot understand this. But at the end, they say, and then not only they're emotional, this is another thing, they speak highly philosophical prayers. Not only they're emotional wives, अरे हमारे पति को छोड़ दो, पति को छोड़ दो, पति को छोड़. They are not like that. ठीक है माफ कर दो. And then they said that they prayed. They said, एक बार गलती तो कोई भी माफ करता है ना. Once, एक बार गलती की है माफ कर दो. दोबारा करेगा तो देख लेंगे, तब हम संभाल लेंगे. नहीं करेगा, he is humble now. He will not again. But once, and that what is that prayer? It says here, a master should tolerate an offense committed by his child or subject at least once. And then they use the word, O Supreme, Shantum, right? This is called, what is that? Yeah. Here, Shantatma, yes, Shantatma. O Supreme, peaceful soul. शांति रखो, supreme, peaceful soul. अपना गुस्सा ठंडा करो. एक बार. And then they repeat this again. You should forgive our foolish husbands who did not understand who you are. बेचारा समझा नहीं. बच्चा है, माफ कर दो. Wives are telling, बच्चा है, माफ कर दो. They beg. Now, before this prayer, there is a whole series of all philosophical prayers. Acknowledging who are you? You are the cause of all causes. You are the eternal time. You are the cause of all causes and effects. Still you are transcendental. All kind of philosophical. These are not the some emotional, bhavuk, sentimental wives, who are praying for the husband. They understand who Krishna is. And they were one time praying, let him die. But now seeing his repentance, they are praying. Not because just there is a husband. They are feeling compassion. बेचारा पश्चाताप कर रहा है, forgive him. And that is the time it is said that Krishna finally, wives are saying, Oh Supreme Lord, please be merciful. It is proper to feel, for the saintly, to feel compassion for women like us. This serpent is about to give up his life. Please give us back our husband, which is our life and soul. Now please tell us, your maid servants. This is here this prayer. मांग लेती हैं, लेकिन बाद में they clarify. What do they say? Please tell us, what should we do? They demand, but still they leave it on Krishna. Certainly anyone who faithfully executes your order is automatically freed from all fear. कोई श्रद्धा से अगर आपकी आज्ञा का पालन करता है, जैसी आपकी इच्छा, जैसी हमारी इच्छा नहीं, such a person get free from all fear. Purport says, the surrender of Kaliya's wives was now complete, and Lord Krishna immediately gave his mercy to them. He jumped and jumped and jumped and crushed and crushed and crushed all the. It was painful. Kitna pain hua hoga na? Krishna is jumping. Somebody who carries the whole universe in the abdomen, he is jumping. Think about the whole this allegory which is given. Not an allegory, it's a reality. That person is jumping with all the weight. When Krishna decides to crush somebody's pride, it can be very painful. It's highly painful. And Kaliya's all hoods, surrender was complete. Kali had become very humble. And then Shukadeva Goswami says, thus praised by Nagapatni's supreme personality, released Kaliya. Kaliya gained little bit strength and started speaking. And I will not speak all the prayers, but he kind of repeated the words of Nagapatni's. He didn't know how to pray. He was an envious person. लेकिन पत्नियों को बोलते हुए सुना था, तो बोला अभी थोड़ा सुना है वही रिपीट कर दो. Then पत्नियों ने बोला था, he is envious, he doesn't know anything. Then he said, I have been very envious. What envious people know how to pray, what to speak. Our very birth has made us envious. पत्नियों ने बोला था. Then he पत्नियों से सुना था, he is the creator. Then he says, oh supreme creator, it is you who generate this universe. It is you who manifest various kinds of personalities, sensory and physical strength, mothers and fathers. You are the cause. O Supreme Personality, among all the species, we serpents are always enraged. And then he says, but understand, na, after all we are illusioned. हम आप ही की शक्ति में हैं, माया शक्ति में. अभी आप ही की माया का प्रभाव है तो गलती किसकी हुई, हमारी या आपकी? That's one way of looking at this, अभी आप ही की माया शक्ति है, अभी आप ही ने इस सृष्टि में डाला, माया शक्ति में डाला, so and then sometimes we have seen sometimes some people ask this question, अभी क्या करें, भगवान की माया शक्ति है. Some people drink a lot and intoxication and then they say, अभी भगवान ने ये भी तो हमारे लिए ही बनाया है ना. अरे भगवान की हर सृष्टि का आनंद लेना चाहिए कि नहीं? बोलो हरि बोल, अगर लेना चाहिए तो हरि बोल. कोई तो हरि बोल बोला. कौन है? राइट. हर सृष्टि का आनंद लेना चाहिए. He is telling her, this is your illusory energy. And then he says, it is very difficult to give up. But if you bless me, I can give up illusory energy. So yes, we agree. Very difficult Maya Shakti to give up. But at least we can tell Krishna that please bless me कि मैं माया से बाहर आऊं. और धीरे धीरे नहीं, immediately. O Lord, since you are the omniscient Lord, please arrange for what you consider proper, mercy or punishment. ये देखिए, this is the sign he has understood. You give mercy देना mercy दो, punishment देना punishment दो, because your punishment is a very sweet mercy. वो भी तो mercy है ना. अरे जिनके लिए लक्ष्मी जी पीड़ित रहती हैं, that lotus feet you have been dancing on my head, on all my hoods, एक को नहीं सबको कृपा दिया, और क्या चाहिए मेरे को? Your punishment is also a very sweet mercy. Those who have experienced the punishment and the nectar of punishment, they can say that is also mercy, sweet mercy. And then he says, this is Shukdev Goswami finally, I'll just end in few minutes. Shukdev Goswami says, after hearing Kaliya's words, Supreme Personality replied, you can no longer remain here, leave this. And then he was worried, अभी बोलेगा नहीं नहीं रहने दो यहाँ पे, व्रज में आनंद आएगा, आपके साथ रहूँगा. So many things he can start bargaining. Oh, no chance of bargain. He immediately said, he started showering blessings to convince Kaliya that no chance, अभी नहीं रह सकता यहाँ पे तू, because my devotees are here. Not only now, future में भी तुम नहीं रह सकता. Look at this. So you all can go and bathe in Yamuna peacefully. Because Krishna declared, what? If a mortal being attentively remembers my command to you, जो लोग भी सोए नहीं, ध्यान पूर्वक सुने इस कथा को, attentively remembers my command to you. What is the command? To leave Vrindavan and go to the ocean. And whoever narrates this account at sunrise and sunset, जो ये लीला का स्मरण करता है सूर्य उदय सूर्य अस्त के समय, he will never be afraid of you. And then he says, if one bathes in this place of my pastimes, we all go to Kaliya Ghat. How many of you gone? Kaliya Ghat, we have gone, many of us. If one bathes in the place of my pastimes and offer the water of this lake to the demigods and other worshipable personalities, and if one observes a fast and duly worships, उपवास करेगा, worship करेगा, remembers me, he will get free from all sinful reactions. Out of fear of Garuda, you left Ramanaka island, came here, but now see, in one shot, he did many things. First of all, he created a wonderful pastime for us to discuss for all times to come. How many of you have already heard this Kaliya Leela? Or how many of you have already seen this Kaliya? Practically almost everyone. How many times and how many times in the future? Again, maybe next year we'll have this pastime again on Sunday feast. Janmashtami time or a different time. He says, he did many things. First thing is, he created his pastime for Vrajavasis, for all of us to hear and churn our hearts and create such emotions for Krishna. so that we do not have to go and see Bajrangi Bhaijaan, right? Or some movie like that. But more than that, he gave also protection to Vrajavasis that time. Plus, he also gave his lotus footprints on the hood of Kalia and offered him all protection from Garuda. That's another thing. In fact, Kalia, in one of his prayers, it is said, his heart was expressing that, see, Garuda and Kalia, we are kind of brothers. Garuda is your Vahan. Kabhi kabhi mujhe bhi Vahan use kiya karo. Always you use him as your chief carrier, a chief driver, sometimes me also. And it is described, then Krishna decided, okay, sometimes he uses Kalia also, you also come. That was one thing. Some beautiful things I mentioned. Then Krishna, while dancing, he dropped his Kaustuba money into the waters. Nobody saw that. It was Krishna's Kaustuba money. And the Nagapatnis were offering Krishna, kya gift dena chahiye? They are getting jewels and the gold and the ornaments and the dresses and they are gifting. And in that they picked up. उनको लगा ये कौस्तुभ भी हमारे ही कोष में से आया है, तो दे दिया. Krishna, take this gift. हमको भी मालूम नहीं था इतना सुंदर गिफ्ट है हमारे पास. Krishna said, very nice, give this Kaustubh. So everybody will think, who gave this Kaustubh? Nagapatnis. And then that Kaustubh, he decorated himself. So even so this is described that even he got the lotus prints on his and then he says, those having released, Kalia joined his wives in worshipping him with joy and reverence. Like that, this beautiful pastime. Jai Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, Hare Krishna, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. So we would like to thank His Grace Gaurang Priya Prabhu by loudly chanting 3 times. Hari Hari Hari. So first of all,